We really sat there for hours just talking through it, really breaking it down, trying to figure out every aspect of the business, competitors out there. And I think we literally stayed there all night. And we knew this was the one, and ended up going into debt, signing on developers that we couldn't afford, and just getting started.
I think it was an absolute execution play, and it's not like we had something that was, patented and trademarked and, had a massive differentiation. A lot of people have tried to do what we did, and, a lot of people still try. It just was all down to execution. And, when we're kind of hearing other founders try and, pitch us now for investment, etc., or, just for advice, I almost kind of don't really care what the idea is. It's just, these things are just execution plays.
This is an extra special podcast today because I have the youngest ever entrepreneurs I've had on the show before. And also near and dear to my heart, the one of them is the oldest child of my dearest friend. So it's Harry Gestetner and Simon. Simon, what is your last name?
Pompan.
Pompan.
Simon Pompan.
Simon Pompan, who I just found out is like his mom is like a huge Hollywood baller. I had no idea, but I just learned something new today. And these guys, I have to say, they started a company 2 years ago, but really launched it 10 months ago, called Fanfix, and already sold it for tens of millions of dollars in like 10 months. It is unbelievable. It's a great story. I am so thrilled to have you guys on the podcast. And I'm so happy for you, Harry.
Thank you very much. We're thrilled to be here. Thanks for having us. It's a very esteemed background.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I want to say I am just your mother's thrilled that you're here. I've gotten a bunch of like messages from her.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. Now you are, okay, so you're 22, but you just turned 22.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. About a month ago. Yeah. I was 21 when we sold the company.
Right. 21 when you sold the company. And how old are you, Simon?
I just turned 23. So
you're old.
I'm the one who looks after this one.
Yeah. You babysit him?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys went to high school together, right?
We did.
Yeah. So we both went to Harvard Westlake together. Harry moved from London, and we have been good friends ever since. And yeah.
Well, it's interesting because you've been here, your family's been in the US for what, 6 years?
7 years
7
now.
years
Crazy.
now?
Yeah.
What a good move this has been for you, huh?
I know. It's been very fortunate. Yeah, it's funny. It feels like a lot shorter, but it also feels like forever.
Well, it's funny because you moved in a really weird time for kids, right?
Yeah.
Or for teenagers, right? Like that's the hardest time to like move from what right?
Yeah, I was very lucky because I was 15, so and sophomore year of high school, and I think that's the perfect age because I was old enough to where I feel properly English. I had a solid
properly English.
He gets to retain his accent.
Yeah, got the accent. Got solid friends and back in the UK, but also had a good amount of time to make friends. I think if you have less than 3 years at high school, it's kind of tough to make friends. So I just the perfect amount to make great friends here and also have good background in the UK.
Right. So then you guys met the first year that you were here, right?
Yeah. Simon was cheating off me in my math class.
Is that what happened?
I'm joking.
No. Don't expose me.
Don't expose.
He would never cheat off me. He's too smart to do that.
I know. Listen, I don't know. Do you have good grades? I don't even know.
No.
Really? What kind of marks did you have? Like we call it marks. I'm Canadian, so we call it marks.
Personally, I was a very, very average student. Average to below average. But
so what was your like average mark?
My first semester in the US, I had a 2.3 GPA.
Yeah, Harry struggled with history class.
Yeah, the US history class is actually tough.
Of course.
Yeah, but my dean, I did pick it up a lot from 2.3, thankfully. But my dean sat me down with my parents first semester and said, it's not where he's going to college, it's if he's going to college. And my parents went crazy and made sure I knew that I had to turn it around. So I did, yeah.
Well, this goes to show you, by the way, I talk about this a lot, like all the time, that, being academically smart is just one type of smart.
Yeah.
It's way more, I personally think it's way more important to have street smart and emotional intelligence and being bold is my big message, right? And going after things, and asking for what you want. Schools, like a lot of times I meet people who are just academic geniuses and total dolts in real life and like don't make anything of themselves, right? And then you meet people who drop out and at 14 and they're, living like the high life, right? So it's good to have both.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I'm saying it's good to have both, but doesn't mean that if you're a bad student, obviously, that it's going to basically tell you your future.
Totally.
Yeah. A lot of the times, a lot of successful entrepreneurs weren't successful students growing up.
A lot of times.
And the translation really isn't there from, getting good grades in high school to, being a world-class problem solver and being a successful entrepreneur.
Absolutely not. Wait, what kind of grades did you have? A+?
I was a little bit higher than Harry. I was.
Well, he dropped out, so it doesn't count.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Wait. So what kind of grades did you have?
So in high school, I was like 3.5.
Okay. And by the way, we should say Harvard Westlake, where they went to school, is very difficult for people who don't live. Like it's a private school, and it's known to be like the curriculum and the workloads like higher than probably 99% of the schools, right?
And by the way, we had an amazing time there.
I'm sure.
Awesome friends. Obviously, we met. Fanfix wouldn't have happened if we hadn't met.
Well,
there.
that 100%. We're going to get all to the
totally.
Fanfix, but I want to know about. So wait. So tell me, just finish about your school then.
So I was an athlete in high school. I played basketball and lacrosse at Harvard Westlake. So I was on a little bit of a different track than Harry. At Harvard Westlake, they treat sports like jobs, I would say, a lot of the times.
Do they?
Especially with basketball, baseball, their core sports. So I do have a state championship at Harvard Westlake.
Ooh,
and
nice.
played very competitive basketball there. But struggling, it's always a struggle to balance sports, school, especially at Harvard Westlake, and making friends and being social. But was able to figure it out along the way.
Right. So then did you guys become fast friends though when you moved here?
Yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah, definitely.
And so, by the way, did you always have like an entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah, my first business, I was 11. And it was a company called Legionary Clothing.
What's it called?
Legionary Clothing.
Okay.
So was called, definitely not around anymore.
Okay.
But it was a clothing company, and I remember I had I was dealing with this I can't remember, wholesaler or whatever it was over email. And then I got on the phone after months of talking over email, and they heard my like prepubescent 11-year-old boy voice.
You were literally 11?
I realized I was a kid.
Wow.
And that was that. But yeah, I had like probably 10 businesses now. So
what did you do for the business? What happened? You have to finish what you were going to say.
That one failed. Not lost
at
my
11,
mind.
really?
Like most of them.
Yeah, like most.
But
of them.
what was the premise of the business?
It was just a clothing brand. But then I had a few others. I had a storage facility company, but the storage facility was my parents' garage. But that didn't work because I wasn't on my own schedule. So when the company we had this local scuba shop we were talking to, and if they wanted their stuff over Christmas and I was on holiday with my parents, I couldn't deliver it.
Yeah,
so,
that'd be a problem.
Yeah. So that also failed. But yeah, that had kind of a ton for the past.
So you always had these ideas and then you tried to kind of execute because your parents are entrepreneurial. Your dad's like super entrepreneurial.
Yep.
Did he help you with these ideas back then?
Yeah, a ton. Definitely. They're very supportive. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So then, were you also, Simon, that way, or?
I was always interested in entrepreneurship. I was very busy with athletics growing up.
Right. So it kind of that wasn't like your thing, right? It was more like focusing on
I got really pulled into entrepreneurship, I would say, in high school. So Harvard Westlake had multiple classes centered around entrepreneurship, brainstorming ideas, walking you through, setting up a proper business plan, go-to-market strategy. And we would always have, entrepreneurs, a lot of the times alumni from our high school, come in and speak to the class. So
who were the biggest ones you guys remember having?
The biggest that I dealt with was not actually in a great way. I was trying to start a fund for the school. My thesis was if you look at the Harvard Westlake alumni, they significantly outperform kind of any other data set.
And these are people like Spencer Raskoff, who founded Hotwire and then went on to find Zillow and now Picasso. And there's a multitude of different alumni that we could point to.
Yeah, and I want to hear who they are.
Founder of Clutter.
Brandon Beck, League of Legends, tons of
wow.
massive.
Okay.
But then, so tried to start a fund, and then I partnered with actually who's one of our kind of closest advisors and investors, Ari Engelberg, who's the founder of Stamps.com, who was also a teacher at our school, amazing guy. And then we were trying to start, and then it went to the
hold on. You try to start a fund.
Yeah.
This was like
high school, using the high school endowment.
Using high school endowment. Okay.
For to back kind of students or alumni to go and start businesses, and I mean it would have they would have had Fanfix, which would have been good for them, as well as a ton of other businesses. But it got to the board of trustees and got shut down actually by Charlie Munger, who's Warren Buffett's business partner. And
really,
so that was unfortunate.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a good story.
Yeah.
So then what? So then what happened? Because that never happened. Nothing. Or did something else come from it? From trying to start it at least.
I had another business I started actually, which was kind of connecting students, as in college student businesses, with investors. We helped one company pitch at South by Southwest, but apart from that, kind of didn't have huge amount of success. But that was kind of.
So you were trying to connect funds with ideas from college
so college students. There's a massive ton of massive businesses were founded by students.
Absolutely. If USC has a program like that, it's great.
Yeah, and there are a lot of student funds that have popped up. Where students actually serve as the investors and network at their college campuses. And I think there's a big trend with these larger VCs to try to attract more college students.
Totally.
Because that's smart though. There's like so many great innovative ideas and disruptors.
Yep.
Because in it's a different mindset, right? When you're young, you see things completely different. You have different ideas. Like even with Fanfix, it's like the technology of what it is. Like it's going to be started, I would think, by someone of your age group, totally. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have someone like me think of that, right? Yeah. So I find like it would be a smart move for those companies to do that, right?
Yeah.
So then walk us through like how this happened. So here you guys, you're friends, you're like doing mostly sports, not really paying attention. You start all these little businesses at 11 and 12 and, storage units and clothing companies. And you try to do this thing where Charlie, what was he known by? Charlie
Munger.
Charlie Munger.
Yeah. Says, no. So how did this evolve into what you have now, which is, now sold to, who do I sell it to, by the way?
Super Ordinary.
By the way, so Super Ordinary, well, you tell us, like, who are they? And it's an interesting exit too, right? Because it's not by someone that you would normally think of to buy a technology, or would you guys say like a tech company?
Yeah.
Like it's a beauty company.
It's unusual,
The whole thing is very unusual. So start from the beginning. How did this whole thing come to be?
So
who had the idea first?
We'll even get into how we got to starting Fanfix, and before that, we started a charity called Fuel Our Heroes.
Okay.
So as soon as college campuses closed for COVID and all the students were sent home, we were at home looking for things to do, and we saw.
Where'd you go to college, by the way?
I went to Vanderbilt.
You went to Vanderbilt?
So I went to Vanderbilt. I ended up dropping out, so I still have 1 year left.
No.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes, still got, I think, 6 credits left. So going to try to finish that up at some point. Harry found a way to graduate.
Barely, no, I'm joking.
While I was handling the company.
Yeah,
Is
but
that-
I didn't do most of the work.
So you did. So you went to Tulane.
I went to Tulane. Yeah, graduated.
I know that. I'm
Yeah.
just telling everyone else. Okay, so go on. So you're like now at Vanderbilt. Did you come? So you came home.
So we came home. Schools got shut down. Classes were canceled. We didn't know what to do, and we saw all of these college students who wanted to get involved in the fight against COVID, raising money for healthcare heroes. So Harry and I with two of our friends from high school, started a charity called Fuel Our Heroes, where we partnered with over 18 hospital networks nationwide and in Canada. And we mobilized local community organizations, whether that's college students raising money on their college campuses or high schoolers raising from their friends and family. And we were able to raise over just around $500,000 from $10 donations from college students. So had 140 student volunteers, and we're really in the nonprofit space throughout COVID, and went on to advise the I'm a Voter campaign, youth voting rights, and really became the experts in engaging Gen Z audiences.
U.S. congressman, advisor congressman,
U.S. congressmen as well.
Whose idea was that?
Well, that was all collective. But
but one person usually is is the catalyst for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, definitely. But we kind of like to,
Yeah, we for that was a collective effort of all of us kind of sitting around and wanting to do something about it.
I mean, we got back, it was March 2020, sophomore year of college. It's your absolute, prime time, and then bam, COVID hits. You go from highest high to lowest low, and it was, pretty miserable for us, but we were some of the luckiest people in the world. There were healthcare workers who were working 24/7 and then having to come home and sleep in their garages because they didn't want to go inside and infect their families. And there were nurses having to kind of make their own PPE out of bed sheets, and it was really horrendous. So we thought, we're just sitting here doing nothing, we got to do something. And all these college students, they got time on their hands, and they also, so they can volunteer, and they also want to donate money. But I think the one of the coolest things that showed us is the power of social media. So all these $500,000 is amazing, but it'd be a lot less cool if it was $500K donation from one old rich guy. It's a lot cooler that it's $5-10 donations from college students, and that was all through social media. So we came up with these viral marketing challenges. We had one called the See a Memory, Send a Memory challenge, where we thought, okay, so kids are at home from college now, we can get them to do maybe one post to Fuel Our Heroes to get a donation just from asking them, but they're not going to be too happy doing that, and they're not going to post it again and again and again. So what can we get them to repeatedly post? So we figured everyone misses their colleges. Everyone is terrified at these weird times where they're in their bedroom alone and wishes they were out with their friends. So we did this challenge called See a Memory, Send a Memory. So you post and tag 5 friends, donate $5. So you kind of post a throwback, a memory of your time at college, and you tag 5 friends to challenge them to do the same, and they donate $5 to Fuel Our Heroes, and that went completely viral. And
it did.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's amazing. So then what happened?
So then, the charity grew, went pretty crazy, and then eventually that wound down, and we wanted to find something to do. And then around the same time, kind of end of 2020, my cousin had a TikTok video go completely viral, blew up on TikTok. He got tens of millions of views, woke up with tons of followers, and couldn't make a single penny. And we were pretty shocked.
What kind of video was it?
It was
walking on water.
Yeah, it was walking on water. It was like a magic trick, and then he did a couple of kind of magic tricks following that.
And how many views did it get?
I think he got tens of millions. I can't. It's funny because we always used to joke, like every pitch we tell the story in, the number goes up like another 3 million views. So I can't remember what the real number was.
Right, like hundreds of millions.
I think it ended up at like 3 billion.
Yeah, exactly. 10 billion views. Right.
3 billion impressions.
I think it was like I want to say 20 million views.
Wow.
But
so it's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Didn't make a single penny though, and that shocked us. This is before the TikTok Creator Fund, but nevertheless, the Creator Fund pays out 2.5 cents per thousand, pays out nothing.
Right.
So we thought, there must And meanwhile, we've seen somewhere.
Who's we? You guys together thinking
Yeah.
like how are we gonna like?
Harry and I.
Yeah.
So we were actually sitting around a fire at Harry's house one night about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Not
18 months ago.
18 months ago, sitting around a fire, and we saw the rise of Patreon.
Yeah.
And what they were doing with membership communities with creators. And we saw that there are a lot of Gen Z creators out there that want to build a recurring revenue stream and want some stability in their life, as well as building a membership community where they can engage with all their fans and really monetize their following in a new way without requiring much time out of their day. And there weren't really many options out there for Gen Z creators. On one hand, you have Patreon, which is desktop first, targets an older demographic than
Who does it target? Patreon?
More
Our parents.
Our parents.
Yeah,
Like me?
It's very. I didn't want to say that.
Why? Give me the age bracket. Like, what's the?
It's more. We see Patreon as akin to Facebook. It's a platform that our parents would use. It's very difficult as a platform.
I don't use Facebook, by the way.
No, of course. It's very difficult as a platform
does?
to win with every generation and every demographic. So I mean, there's a reason why my generation's on TikTok and my parents' generation's on Facebook.
Why is that?
I mean, we don't want to be on Facebook because our parents are there.
Right. So the second you see your parents on there,
Yeah.
you flee and go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Our
it's like
parents-
Harry doesn't invite his parents to all the parties he throws.
Yeah,
Right. Same thing.
always they get the invite. But yeah, so we'd seen. So my cousin blew up, and
How old's your cousin, by the way?
he is 20.
Okay.
And he blew up, and around the same time we saw a statistic that 75% of Gen Z wants to be a creator when they grow up.
Not doctors or lawyers.
Creators, content creators, and we were absolutely shocked. So we thought, hold on a second. So
That's a crazy number.
the majority of our generation wants to be a creator, but even if they achieve the pinnacle of being a creator, which is what my cousin had, getting tens of millions of views, they're still not going to make a single penny. That there's something's off there. So that's kind of what led us to get into space and see a gap in the market for Fanfix.
I mean, so I got so much to ask about that. Okay, so I'm still on the fact that, so if people now, old people, by the way, are on TikTok, like me.
Yeah.
But people like even much older than me. So, but they're still young people on there. Are they all
totally.
migrating off there now, like slowly but surely?
TikTok?
TikTok.
Yeah.
No, TikTok is really the ideal discovery platform
Yeah,
out there.
like,
So
I feel like it's
amazing.
become a search engine. Like
it
Google.
is. And if you look at Gen Z, where they're actually searching online, it's on TikTok. It's not on Google. It's not on
I saw a whole thing
Yahoo.
on this today.
When people search for products or product reviews, whatever it is, they're going on TikTok to make those searches. They're going on, Instagram to find those accounts. They're not opening up Google and searching for these products.
So what's the difference between Instagram and TikTok now? Do you find there's a different audience? Is TikTok still a little bit younger skewed, or is it much more of a search engine?
Yeah, I mean TikTok's much younger skewed, and TikTok's also the cool platform now. There were numbers that came out. Instagram's trying to copy that with their reels.
Yeah.
But there were
Found much
numbers
success.
Really?
Numbers came out. It's failing. The majority.
When did that come out?
I think a couple of weeks ago, the majority of reels get no views and no likes and comments.
There's very little engagement on Reels.
And I can't remember the exact statistic. I want to say over a third of reels are just reposted from TikTok. So that's if you're Instagram, you're seriously concerned about that.
And then you look at what YouTube just announced today with YouTube Shorts, where they're actually splitting ad revenue with the creators. So they're going to give, I believe it's 45% of ad revenue to the Shorts creators, which is a big step for, short form content on YouTube.
Totally.
That's amazing. I mean, that's interesting. I do feel like people are relying their business on social media, on like an Instagram, and that's like a borrowed platform, right?
Yeah.
Any minute you can be banned. Look at so
It's
many
terrifying.
people. It's very terrifying. Like you
Yeah.
can be banned in a second for if you don't agree or say something that's out of
TikTok
line.
too.
And TikTok
Yep.
and YouTube, by the way.
Yeah,
all of
and
them.
YouTube.
And
And we've
YouTube.
actually
It's
even seen,
terrifying.
what's very interesting is we have seen a few startups pop up who are offering insurance to creators in case their TikToks get banned and they lose that revenue stream, or their Instagram gets banned. So there are solutions out there where you actually will, buy insurance for your social platform.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So before we get more into, and this is very curious to me. So like, why TikTok then? Because to your point, it's true. Once people like on Facebook, once your parents show up, you leave, right? That's why Instagram happened. That's when people they left to TikTok. Why aren't people leaving TikTok to a different platform that's happening? That's
that will happen.
It just hasn't. It hasn't evolved to that.
Yeah, the cycle hasn't made it there yet.
But there's also Triller and all those other ones, but they're failing, right?
Yeah, Triller has some issues right now in terms of lawsuits and creators not getting paid. But what's very interesting with, I think, not just Gen Z creators, but you're saying everyone's on TikTok now,
right?
Is the power of that algorithm. So, what we see amongst Gen Z creators and all different types of creators like yourself is they're using TikTok as that discovery platform to really grow their audience and reach new audiences. And then from there, it's how you convert your TikTok following across all your social channels. So how do you convert your TikTok onto Instagram? How do you get your community to follow you onto YouTube, converting on long form content, or onto Spotify, converting on a podcast, into Discord communities. So we're seeing
explain that, because I've just been hearing a lot about that. Can you tell us what Discord is?
So Discord is essentially a platform that allows people to build group chats and be able to tier those group chats, so it could handle much larger communities. So I guess think of Discord as Slack, if you're familiar with Slack.
Yeah, that's how
but instead of for businesses, it's for gamers, or for NFT communities, or friend groups. But what we're actually seeing with a lot of these platforms that were created for that inner circle, your close friends and family, which is Discord, even Snapchat, when you could just take a photo and send it to one or two people. They are leaning completely into discovery now. They're kind of following TikTok's path of
what's discovery? What is that?
The algorithm being able to grow your audience,
finding people,
reach new audiences, grow your
that. Okay, I meant there's another thing altogether.
And what's so cool, what's incredible about TikTok, and what's so cool about TikTok, they have completely democratized celebrity. So you can, in the 90s, who are the celebrities?
Actually.
The celebrities are, the very few movie stars who got picked by the massive studios and then got represented by the massive agents, and, went through this whole process of, these old men in suits who kind of organized this person getting a massive deal to get the massive reach, and now they're famous. TikTok, you had people like my cousin who download an app in their bedroom in, the middle of Iowa or wherever you are. You post a video on your phone and you wake up and you got more reach than the Timothy Chalamet or whoever the biggest movie star is.
It's amazing, actually. Crazy. And the algorithm. Well, but wasn't that also the case with Instagram? Isn't it the case with Instagram? It was democratized. I feel what's happened though is to grow on Instagram has become incredibly difficult.
Very difficult.
And almost impossible. Actually,
and you're also only reaching. Every time you post, you're only reaching a small percentage of your audience.
So small. You know that my close friends, who I'm very close with, they tell me that they never see my stories.
Yeah.
Like it never comes up. My posts never come up. My reels never come up. So like the audience is like so small. And I feel like with TikTok, I started TikTok maybe 5 months ago, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a few of my own videos got to 1 million, which was shocking. And I grew much faster. And then whenever I post, like I have two. I have a Habits and Hustle one, and I also have my Jennifer one. And I've had like a bunch of videos that, like not like, you know what I mean, within reason, like maybe 10 that's hit over 1 million. Never would happen on Instagram.
Totally.
Yeah.
Never.
So that's why everyone's going to TikTok right now, whether you're a brand.
Brands are, I mean, that's how brands are breaking in.
Yep.
Brands are like breaking it. Like if you're big on an Instagram, you're going to, like, that's how BLK, they broke on TikTok.
Yeah.
A girl that saw their videos was a buyer for Walmart. And, that's how they got into Walmart.
Amazing.
But beyond that, they're like they're known to be like a super cool brand because all these young influencers are like drinking the black water and and it's become like a thing. And I feel like you don't have that cachet on Instagram or Facebook at all.
And look at like even the music industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where are the record labels spending money right now?
Yeah.
They're spending money on TikTok for, their artists to get for creators to use their artists' music to make TikToks. Music promotions are a massive thing in the management world, agency world, label world, and those all take place on TikTok.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy about TikTok as well is, I'm 22, so I'm on that kind of upper cusp of Gen Z where I'm, young enough that I'm an insider, but also old enough to where I, kind of an outsider as well.
You're hardly an outsider.
Yeah.
What's the starting point for like
it's
that?
8 to 24 is the age range.
Oh, 8 to 28.
So I'm really right at the cusp.
You
Simon's a
are.
boomer.
You're basically like a dinosaur like me. So join me on
He's a
Facebook.
boomer.
No, I'm
He
joking.
doesn't remember the 90s like I do.
You don't remember the 90s.
No,
Oh my God.
I wasn't born.
You're a baby. You're not even a 90s person,
Yeah.
of course. But so Patreon comes and that's how I want to so Patreon then is a paid subscription model where people where creators or someone of influence or whatever, they can give private content or
So the two big platforms in the direct monetization space were Patreon and OnlyFans. OnlyFans being much bigger, and it was pretty clear. Patreon, it's a fan membership platform where you post paywalled content, same as Fanfix, but it's for a much older demographic. It's as we said, like a platform our parents would use. It's akin to Facebook. More YouTube first, and then
it's also more of a crowd fund for struggling artists. Being a patron, donating to support that creator.
That's how I view it.
Yeah, and it was created
exactly.
by Jack Conte, who built the platform essentially around himself.
And how much do they charge?
They charge 8 to kind of 5 to 12.5%, but
How much?
Oh no! Do you mean the creator? The creators choose your own price.
So then, because when I know we say your parents' age, but I mean, there are a lot of young people. What is the age range for Patreon?
We
really?
I think kind of it's seen as kind of 30s to 50s.
30s to 50s. Okay.
But then on the other hand, you got OnlyFans, which OnlyFans is a porn site.
It is. It's basically.
It's a porn site.
Listen, you can say whatever you like.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a porn
soft
site.
porn, maybe. Do they have any I mean, I thought for a while there they restricted.
Zero restrictions.
So yeah,
they did for like a 5
They
minutes.
tried for a brief
Didn't
second.
last.
They tried to move out of that category and more into the Patreon and our world of brand friendly content, but they got a lot of backlash from women communities, from the creators on their platform who were monetizing through pornographic content. So OnlyFans allows porn on their platform as well, full on porn, and then Patreon allows nudity on their platform.
They do?
Yes, they do. You could create your page to be 18 plus on Patreon, and you could post nude content in all different types of nudity, but you can't go that as far as on OnlyFans.
So Fanfix is strictly family friendly, 13 plus, the most PG exclusive content platform.
So Fanfix is family friendly.
Yeah.
13 plus, you said?
Yeah.
And what was the other thing?
The most the most PG exclusive content platform, on the internet. And we're TikTok first, mobile first, and built by and for Gen Z, essentially.
So is it it seems we didn't talk about Cameo. Isn't it similar to Cameo though too?
No, not really. So Cameo is more, I'm going to buy a birthday video for my wife and, I'm going to find that B-list or C-list actor on Cameo to create a birthday video for my wife. And then that's pretty much it. Yep. And the payment frequency on Cameo is very, very low. So people buy maybe one Cameo a year. If that. And Cameo has tested other products like fan clubs, or they have like a NFT they launched called the Cameo Pass. But really, Cameo isn't one of our competitors.
No. But I thought the same type of idea.
Same type of idea
you can spend money, direct monetization.
Direct monetization.
Direct monetization.
Yeah, absolutely. Same space. Yeah.
Direct
Same
monetization.
space.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
at the beginning, I thought they were doing really well. I don't know how they are their numbers now, but
I think not so hot recently. They had some big layoffs, but I think it's a tough business with very low payment frequency. You do, as Simon said, you do one purchase for your friend's birthday for a couple of $100, and then you kind of don't go back.
It's
a novelty.
Fanfix is, our fans are, back there every day supporting their favorite creators, constantly messaging, paying to message their favorite creators, doing obviously monthly subscriptions. But I mean, Cameo is awesome. We support any business that supports creators. So
a lot of the
awesome
creators
business.
on our platform also use, Cameo. But it hasn't become their main revenue stream. So with Fanfix, with the creators we work with, we often become their main source of revenue.
Wow, really?
And this is recurring revenue. So once a subscription is made, and creators grow their subscriber base, they then renew those subscriptions the following month and continue to grow their subscriber base. So really what we want Fanfix to be is a hub for creator monetization. And we always like to think about how can we allow creators to earn as passively as possible, because we understand they have busy lives. They're always creating content, traveling, working, whatever it may be. And we want to create passive income streams for them.
So I guess my question would be, it's very similar to a Patreon, but it caters to a younger audience.
Yeah.
And then how about in terms of the money? Like how much do people, like what's your price? Like what's your cut that you give to people versus, like, I'm just using Patreon because it's another example of another direct monetization.
Creators keep net of Fanfix fees and payment processing fees. Creators keep 80%, and they set their own subscription price. We don't cap it. They charge whatever they want, and they also can set a price for fans to message them. So we, see prices as low as $5 a subscription a month, or $3 a message, all the way up to $50 a month for subscription and $500 a message. So there's really a big variety. But the one thing that we couldn't anticipate going into this, and that a lot of investors and people disagree with us on, is how willing people, especially Gen Z, was to support their favorite creators, and to support them financially. We were completely shocked.
Yeah, and also to pay for content. So that's something we got pushed back on when we first started. We have seen a large shift into now where Gen Z spends a ton of money on Twitch live streams, for example, or Fortnite skins, for example.
Yeah, so, that's big.
You see a lot of these high schoolers or elementary school students taking their parents' credit card and spending thousands of dollars on FIFA Ultimate Team or Madden Mobile or Fortnite skins, as I mentioned. And what we saw with Twitch was something that really surprised us. So, we
haven't talked about Twitch at all, or Snapchat. I thought Snapchat also was another one that's emerging as big again.
Snapchat and Twitch have emerged, over the last. Well, they've been big for quite some time, but over the last few months, they've really picked up with Gen Z creators.
Why?
Partially, Snapchat has offered new monetization features for creators to earn consistent revenue with uploading a ton of Snapchat stories, and then them embedding ads into those Snapchat stories and doing a rev share with the creators who are creating that content. But with Twitch, what's very exciting for us is how much these Twitch streamers are earning off tips alone. Their fans are tipping them when they're playing video games and streaming that, or just streaming in their bedroom. And there's no added benefit to tipping. You see thousands of dollars of tips going to creators through live streams. But if Harry tips $1,000 and I tip $0, we have access to the same content. So there's really no added benefit there. So that's where, Fanfix could come in. Really being a part of that creators community, being able to engage with the community, with the creator directly, and also being able to support that creator.
So why did you think initially that charging would be a problem if Patreon was doing it and people were already doing this?
Yeah.
So why did you think that you would have an issue?
The answer is we didn't.
Yeah.
This was really investors and people who might not have understood Gen Z as well as they thought they did.
Right, because probably your investors were older
But
than you.
it's definitely a valid concern in that TikTok is obviously completely free, Instagram's completely free, YouTube's
endless
completely free, and it's endless content at your fingertips for these Gen Z fans. But our theory was with content becoming just completely endless.
Yeah.
Exclusive content and kind of behind the scenes stuff is all the more valuable. And so our theory was that they would pay for content. But a lot of investors and people disagree with us and said, why the hell would you pay when you can go and see stuff for free? But we definitely seen, we've been very, very surprised that we knew it was going to happen and people were willing, but we were shocked at just how willing they were.
I wonder if it's because it's like people want to be voyeurs, right? They want to know what's happening behind this, even though it's still content that people make, but it's like the fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
Like, what am I missing? So you'll pay the extra $5, $10, $20 a month. So whose idea was it? Be honest.
Again, we come up with things together.
Yeah, Harry and I were sitting around a fire, as I mentioned.
Another fire?
Same fire actually.
Same fire?
In Harry's backyard. And
Wow.
that's really our incubator.
We're having a couple of drinks.
It's been a great incubator.
Having a couple of drinks. And I'm not going to say who said it first.
Who brought it up first? You have to.
I don't know. I mean, for people watching, I know we cracked the same joke at the same time outside, so we think the same.
They do think the same, but who went? I have something to say. I have an idea first. Who said that?
I think it was. It's not like a light bulb went off and an idea happened. It's like the conversation. I think all these contributing factors.
Think about this before you start trying to wiggle yourself out of this question.
We'd be very good politicians.
Yeah, think about right.
or not so great ones.
Not at all. Think about Facebook, right? Like it wasn't Mark Zuckerberg who had the actual idea. It was those other people, you don't even know their names, those two twins.
Yeah.
But it was Mark that actually executed and made it what it was. So it doesn't really matter who the idea.
Ideas are cheap.
The ideas are super cheap. It's 99% is execution or perspiration. Inspiration's one. So I'm not going to hold you to that means this. I'm just curious. So whose idea was it? Just say one or the other. You didn't say at the same time.
So
I'll give Simon full credit as a gentleman. But I think let's expand on that. So Harry, we were at Harry's house. Harry, we were talking about the recent news in the creator economy with Patreon's earnings came out.
How were they doing?
And they paid out at the time they were paying out
billions,
they paid out $5 billion to creators.
How much?
Billions.
They paid out $5 billion to creators.
And how much did OnlyFans pay out at the time?
Also billions. Crazy amount.
And there was really no Gen Z creators making money on the platform. And at that time, I was living in an apartment building right in Century City, where a lot of the TikTokers were living.
Was it a TikTok house?
So it was the 10,000 apartment building in Century City.
They all live there.
I don't live there anymore.
I was going to say, that's probably.
So there were a ton of TikTokers there, and we would see, Addison Rae walking down the street and so forth. And none of them were on Patreon. And they would never want to tarnish their brand reputation. And they actually weren't even of the legal age to join OnlyFans at the time. So
how old is she now?
Addison Rae, 20, so 21.
21.
So she could have been on. Well,
the D'Amelios also lived in that building. They
which who did? Oh,
Charlie was under
18.
Yeah. So and they would never join an platform like OnlyFans because when creators do that, they lose out on a lot of high paying brand deals. And especially for the D'Amelios who have
it ruins your entire
Hollister,
personal brand.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy, and I feel like it's like when you have I shouldn't say that. It's not cheesy if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah. So this all kind of transpired to being at Harry's house. I did bring up the idea. Thanks for letting me have this one. And no, we really sat there for hours just talking through it, really breaking it down, trying to figure out every aspect of the business, competitors out there. And I think we literally stayed there all night. And we knew this was the one, and ended up going into debt, signing on developers that we couldn't afford, and just getting started.
Yeah, but it really, I think it was an absolute execution play, and these, there are a ton of people who.
It's always the execution.
It's not like we had, it's not like we had something that was, patented and trademarked and had a massive differentiation. A lot of people have tried to do what we did, and a lot of people still try. It just was all down to execution, and when we're kind of hearing other founders try and pitch us now for investment, etc., or just for advice, I almost kind of don't really care what the idea is. It's just it's these things are just execution plays.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, and I think you bet on the people more than anything else.
100%, especially at early stage.
Yeah,
I think so.
Totally.
I mean, I think it's important that the idea is good, right?
Yeah, of
and
course.
there's but
And there's a market.
I think it's super important the idea is good. It can't be some like silly idea, but it comes down to like who's going to be doing.
He's had his fair share of silly ideas.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you put the storage unit in the
Yeah.
garage.
No, there's more. We'll have to talk off camera.
Oh my God, I'm sure. But listen, that's how things happen. Like you have, all you need is one good one.
Yeah.
One good idea.
Totally.
But so then, how much money did you initially raise then?
So we in total raised about 1.3 million, which really is not very much in the space, and not very much compared to any of our competitors. And we raised that actually from like our college dorm rooms. And
Really?
Yeah.
So we couldn't go out there and raise $20 million like some of our
but
competitors.
you raised 1.3 through who? Like who was the people who gave you the money?
So angel investors, and then we did have a couple of VCs in there. But the
In the
first,
first million?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first
VCs?
check, the first kind of thing is a funny story because as we were saying earlier, like I've had 10 businesses, 15 businesses, maybe I don't know, God knows how many, and
Just stretching the numbers.
you know,
I was going to say, like, it's
100
like that
businesses,
video on
stretching the
TikTok.
numbers now.
1,000 businesses.
1 billion views.
Yeah.
You're just ruining
Yeah.
your success rate.
But none of them had been successful. I hadn't, hadn't made a penny out of any of them until this one. And the thing that I thought, really was holding it back was I'd never taken on any risk. So for this one, we decided, okay, we're going to go balls to the wall. We're going to take on, so we, managed to find a development shop, kind of blagged that we had the money when we didn't have the money, got them signed like a 7-month contract where we owed them a ton of money that we just didn't have. So we knew we could cover the first 2 payments ourselves. So we knew we were good for 2 months. And then after 2 months, we were pretty screwed. Month 1, I paid, month 2, Simon paid, and then we were out of money. And then
How much was it month 1 and month
It's like 20,000.
20 grand a month, something like that. By month 3, we were like, okay, we're getting down to the wire here. And then we managed to find 2 kids at USC that we knew, who, like, I guess we kind of convinced we were a proper business, and they gave us the money. They ended up doing extremely well of their investments.
How much did they give you?
They gave us, it was enough to cover that month's payment.
20,000?
It was like, I think it was 15,
Yeah, something
20,000
like
they gave us.
that. Enough to where we were fine for that month.
Who are these kids?
They're really good friends of ours now. I didn't know them at the time, but
Troy Bondi and Winston Alfereri.
Yeah, really smart guys.
Do I know that guy? How did
You
you know
you
them?
won't know
You
them.
won't know them.
How do you know them? Or how do you guys know
So
them?
I was actually interning with Troy at an investment bank the summer before.
Really?
American Discovery Capital in Westwood. And we had friends who went to college with them, got to know them over the years. And now we're very close with them. We co-invest alongside them in a ton of startups. And they actually have a cool probiotic pasta sauce company called Saws that they're launching. in Erewhon in the next few weeks.
Are you going to lend
Yeah.
them 15, 20,000?
I think we're gonna
We are.
invest.
We
But
are.
definitely we definitely back those
exactly.
guys.
You owe those two, right?
Yeah.
They did very well in the end. But month 3, you know, we got them, we were fine. Month 4, but we were late on that payment, and the development shop was not happy. Month 4, we just didn't have the money, and then I think we spoke to all these, you know, VCs, all these investors.
No one was backing part-time founders
Yeah.
raising out of their dorm rooms.
Zero background.
Zero.
And-
Did you drop out by this point?
No.
No, you're
not
still
at this
in
point.
school,
Yeah.
okay.
But so, and then, you know, we were really not in a good place, and then we met, you know, but whenever it's a big name VC, you know, we prepare, you know, we do a big pitch, whatever, and then a friend of mine at Tulane had said to me, he's like, oh, I was on an email chain with this guy who I think you might be an investor. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually met him, but I'll just email him. And I think this was like 6 p.m. on a Thursday night. He emails the guy responds within a minute. This guy Glenn Anderson, and didn't know any background on him, kind of didn't really take the call very seriously. He responds within a minute.
One of our partners was taking the call on the ski slope.
So we had no background.
No
You know, we
background.
said I don't really know who this guy is. I think it's just like a networking call probably. But you know, we took the call 9 a.m. My partner's on the slopes, camera off, like, you know, occasionally taking his mic off, and then at the end, the guy's like, yeah, you know, I honestly I don't fully understand it, but like I like you guys, and you know, it sounds really cool. So just let me know how much you want, and if you let me know by 1 p.m. I'll wire you the money today. And so we let him know and wired us some money within 24 hours.
How much did he give
of the
you?
meeting.
So he wanted to give us literally any amount. Initially, we were thinking like 500,000.
I think we were raising, but we were raising. We needed to raise. We told him we were raising 200K. He told us he'd give us whatever we want. But we thought, well, it looks needy if we tell him 200K. But we'd really like 200K, so we just told him 150, and then he gave us 150, which, you know.
Wait, and this guy, like, who is this guy?
So this guy is
Awesome,
Glenn Anderson.
amazing guy.
He's amazing. Up in San Francisco, has about 50 active angel investments out currently. Has had multiple successful ones. He was he was the head of the Google Brain team at Google. So he led a division for about 10 years at Google.
Wow.
Where he was actually training the future leaders of artificial intelligence and machine learning.
And this was a person at your school at Tulane.
Yeah. No. He was,
No,
friend of mine
not Glenn.
at
I'm saying the
Tulane.
person who's like, oh, I think
Yeah.
I know this one guy who might be interested.
Yeah, a friend of mine at Tulane. He didn't even know the guy. They'd been on an email chain
Yeah.
together. But then Glenn, I mean,
Why did he think he would be a good person? Why was he on an email?
He was the
chain with
only
this person.
angel investor he knew.
but also this is a time where we were extremely desperate, and when you were an entrepreneur, you have to just hustle.
It's a great one. It's amazing.
Oh, 100%. And you had to, but when you're an entrepreneur, you have to just hustle, scratch and claw for anything you can possibly
Right,
get.
but you got lucky again.
So
like I
lucky,
feel like all
yeah.
the stars lined up. Like
Totally.
So-
randomly, some person turns out this is a great guy who like started the Google Brain team, and then what happens?
Well,
Yeah.
so
Wires you whatever you want.
I think but
Can you give him my number? I can give him a number.
He actually gave
Yeah,
us
totally.
more funding later
later
on
on.
as well.
He-
He
he's
just had so much
amazing.
conviction in what we were doing.
But the guy, you know, and you know,
amazing.
really amazing guy, and he did, you know, he's done obviously very well off his Fanfix investment and other investments as well. But I think it really shows that you gotta, you know, things are you gotta really. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill.
Yeah.
And you know, once you get to the top of that hill, the boulder, you know, falls and it looks pretty easy. But I mean, it was really bloody difficult. Hundreds of kind of no's, and I think we spoke to 200 investors, something like that, to get there. And you know, he was amazing. And then also we were students again in our dorm rooms, as we said, and we were trying to do everything we possibly could to pretend we weren't students. And he completely
knew right away.
He didn't
knew
care.
right
He's
away.
like, we sent him an email the following week. He's like, yeah, I know you guys got finals coming up.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Make sure you get your work done. You can send don't worry if you go dark for a couple of weeks. I don't mind. We're like, what a guy.
This guy sounds incredible.
Yeah,
Amazing.
He's amazing.
He was manna from heaven.
That's totally
really,
exactly.
Yeah.
So then what happens?
So then we. So
what
that
were you
was
spending the money on?
so developers.
all development.
It was going in.
We
in the
didn't
door
pay
out
ourselves a single dollar until we sold.
to the exit.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
till you sold. It's been 10 months. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
till you sold. It's been you're 22 in 10 months. I mean, how
Yeah.
terrible for you. So, did you live okay? Did you have like
We lived
bread
okay.
and water
Yeah.
for the last 10 months?
Our parents had to provide for
Yes,
us.
I know. It must
But-
have been so tough.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I think that was kind of April, May of 2021, and then second semester of our junior year of college, and then we launched. We say we launched the platform in August. We actually launched in June, but we were the only customers for 2 months. So we launched really did not. We kind of made these projections. Thought we were just going to go crazy in our first day. Got zero traction for 2 months, and then I think it was big celebration when we got our first customer that wasn't us.
How did you get it? Like, what did you do for marketing? How did you get the word out? What
So
did you do?
we actually have spent $0 on marketing to this day.
Zero.
So our whole platform is built on network effects.
Right.
So we acquire creators through a variety of different ways. One, just personal relationships, managers, agents,
Well, tell me how
creators
it
referring other
started.
creators.
Yeah.
So we just brought on a few creators in, like who we were meeting in the creator economy, going to these events while we were building the platform.
Right.
And we launched with a handful of creators, and as Harry said, no customers coming to the platform.
Zero.
So we relaunched 2 months later and brought a whole bunch of creators on the platform, and they started converting, their followers into paid subscribers. So that was very exciting. And then from there, we ended up going out and raising again because we were out of money. We spent all of the money we raised to get to launch,
Right.
and then we had no more to continue. So that's when we went to venture funds and brought on Antler Ventures, who believed in us when most VCs wouldn't. Still in college at this time, still taking classes.
Right.
And we were able to build a really solid team. Harry and I didn't have much experience in the creator economy before. So we brought on Tanner Kessel, who's one of our partners, who was working in the creator space for years prior, and then Cameron Dallas. So Cameron is our co-founder as well. He is one of the largest creators in the space. And was one of the first creators. So he was a creator 10 years ago when, you couldn't monetize as a creator. He was one of the first creators to sign a brand deal. One of the first creators to really pursue being a content creator as a full-time job. So he has seen the ebbs and flows of the creator economy when creators couldn't make a penny to now where brands are paying top dollar for creators and diverting their marketing budget. So he saw Fanfix as the new way for creators to monetize, and something he wished he had when he was creating content every day.
So was he the one who really kind of helped spearhead getting people on the platform?
Yeah, totally. So I mean, the approach we took, which was completely different to our competitors, was we thought, okay, right, we're going to build this business around and build the team out around access to creators, getting access to creators. And so when all of our competitors were kind of spending their money hiring engineers and CTOs and etc., we thought we're just going to bring creators onto our team. And we kind of had the ethos, creator is God. We're going to put the creators first. And so brought Cameron on, and against all odds. And I think we had like under 100 customers at that point. Convinced him to join, and he has 70 million followers across platforms, and really 70.
He's got 25. I saw million on Instagram.
Yeah.
And how many does he have on?
I think he's got
He has like
30 or
15 million on Twitter, like 10 million on
wow.
YouTube. I think like 18 million on TikTok.
What kind of content is he?
So he was huge he was at one point the second most followed person on Instagram and started on Instagram and then kind of went to Vine and, was posting jokes, etc. And then he went into, he saw that, he was getting millions of likes and, views on these things on Vine, but there was no such thing as a social media influencer. Mm-hmm. So no one was taking it seriously. And one day he posted a picture outside a building and said, I'm going to be here 4 p.m. tomorrow. Come and see me, expecting no one to show up. And like 600 teenage girls showed up to come and see him.
Even more than that.
So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
How old is the guy, by the way?
He's 28, just turned 28. So
he's out of Gen Z too.
Out of Gen Z, but he was the first social media influencer. He thought if all these people are coming to see me when I just posted this yesterday, this stuff has power. So he created MagCon, which, was kind of a touring company where they do these basically concerts / meetups around the world, which was massively successful. And then he pioneered the first brand deals, was one of the first creators, I think the first digital creator represented by a large agency. And then eventually, he when we met him, it was perfect timing because we needed, access to creators and some legitimization. It was just, two schmucks in college trying to sell the stuff and he really provided. And then at the same time for him, he had, he'd been an influencer for 10 years, was 26 at the time, I think 27 at the time, and really thought he doesn't want to be posting on TikTok when he's 30.
He wants to kind of evolve his career.
Yeah, totally. And so he wanted to get into the business world full time, and so he joined us as a co-founder, and really has been amazing.
So how did you find it? Like, how did you get connected to him?
Yeah, so we got connected to him through a mutual friend. So when we first started, there are all these content houses in LA, and I'm sure you guys have heard of the Aloe House or the Wish House, Hype House, whatever it may be.
The Wish House.
Yeah. So we use that kind of as a go-to-market. So we would partner with various content houses and host content days where creators could come and create content together, collaborate, grow each other's following. And one of the content house managers connected us to Cameron. Because Cameron saw what we were doing and he realized this is actually something that he could get behind, because he's approached by brands all the time, by startups all the time to join their teams. And really, he can't feel like he could really get behind those projects. Right. But with this, his network of creators, allowing them to monetize in new ways, was something that he wanted to get involved with.
What was the equity that you had to give him to be involved?
Well, we can't really say what we gave him, but I think as an entrepreneur, you really have to be able to pull rabbits out of hats.
Yeah,
I see how you're smiling over
pull
there.
Rabbits out of hats.
Yeah,
I just love his saying.
I like that phrase. You really have to be able to pull rabbits out of hats, and that there's an element of luck. There's an element of being in the right place.
So how much equity did you have to give him, Harry?
I really can't say how much.
Harry, how much?
Yeah.
How much? Just let it split.
We took care of him.
Is it in double digits, or is it like in the 9 points below, or is it 10 above? Can you do that at least?
Can't give anything.
I think that's fair.
Harry and I are the main main shareholders.
Yeah.
Right.
We own the vast majority of the company, but that's what we can say. But
you're turning red, Harry.
All right,
no, I think that's the light.
Is that the light?
The sunlight's really.
Is that what it is?
The sun just hit.
I think that is that what it is. Is there like a contract? You're not allowed to talk about these things?
We can't talk about these. But one thing I will say that really I think sets us apart from a lot of the competition out there, or other platforms, is really we are Gen Z. I know Cam's 28, but
he's still young, of course.
A lot of our team is Gen Z. We have multiple creators on our team who are going out there and onboarding creators, bringing their friends on.
How many people do you have on the platform now?
We have 8.2 million.
8.2 million?
Yeah.
You have that many on that platform? On Fanfix?
Yeah, we've had 8.2 million people on the platform.
Who are like, how many are like
monthly.
Yeah.
1.6 million last month.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Was it? It can't be all cam, right? Like it had to be like.
no,
have you guys done
no.
a lot of like? What are some other strategies you use to build out, marketing and to get? I know you said you didn't spend any money on marketing, but was it much? You said it was much more all referral, like people were bringing their friends. But to get to that level of people, that was just simple referrals, or was there any other tactics that you used that were basically for free that you can talk about?
Yeah. So, I think something that, as I spoke prior and mentioned prior, is, being built on network effects. So creators are the ones actually promoting their Fanfix profiles across all their social channels. So they are converting their followers into paid subscribers on Fanfix,
right?
But they're also driving new creator signups.
Right.
So if you're a creator and you're seeing 4 or 5 of your friends posting about their Fanfix profiles every week, you're going to sign up or you're going to ask them about it. So it really was organic in that creators are driving other creators to the platform,
right,
and also driving users to the platform. So one thing we like to do is, we don't overly promote Fanfix and market Fanfix the platform, because we understand that users aren't coming to Fanfix to find new creators to subscribe to. They're being dragged here by their favorite creators.
Yeah.
So one thing we do is we actually like to promote the creators on our platform and allow them to grow their followings across all their social channels. So putting marketing spend behind these creators to grow on other channels and aligning the creator with the Fanfix brand to build that brand affinity with their following. So we always like to put creators first. We like to highlight the creators on our platform and help them in growing their following across all their social channels.
I'm just curious, because Cameron is, I know he doesn't want to be an influencer, but does he do Fanfix?
He's making 6 figures a year on Fanfix.
And Fanfix alone, right?
Yeah.
That's great. It's amazing.
And I think, it's really cool when one of the founders of the company is, making considerable amounts on his own platform.
It's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Name other people that are on your platform that maybe are well known to us.
Yeah. I don't know if Anna Banana on TikTok, one of the largest TikTokers out there, kind of Gen Z icon.
What does she do?
Anna treats her Fanfix almost as like a Finsta. So she'll post Q&As with her fans. She'll post unedited content.
What's Finsta? Should I be knowing? I think I know.
Finsta is a lot of creators out there will create like a fake Instagram where they only let their fans see the content, and it's like goofy content.
They're like closest friends.
Yeah, they're closest friends.
Yeah.
So really, she gives her Fanfix subscribers access into her daily lives, which they can't find on other platforms. So you look at her TikTok or her Instagram, a lot of it will be highly edited content that isn't very authentic. So Fanfix is really the platform for that authentic content, non-edited content, bloopers. So we have podcasters who will put their last 10 minutes of their podcast behind a paywall on Fanfix.
Who? What podcast?
Like Jumpers Jump podcast, one of the largest Gen Z podcasts out there.
What's it called?
Jumpers Jump. The Jumpers Jump podcast puts exclusive episodes or extended cuts or bloopers or special segments. And how much do they
charge for subscription?
They charge $6, $6.92 for a monthly subscription. But then we have fitness influencers who drop their meal plans or their fitness plans.
Maybe a couple of fitness people. I'll know them. Maybe.
A couple of fitness. Abby Burner is a new fitness creator who started this week.
I don't know her. Anybody? Who else?
I don't know. I'm not sure I'm on the spot, but yeah, massive amount.
Yeah, like Maddie Monroe is another big creator, big Gen Z icon, who's on Fanfix.
But yeah, it's become their number one kind of form of monetization. So our highest earner, I think, is earning $6 million a year on Fanfix. I think.
Who?
I can't say.
Oh my God.
Can't disclose earnings.
So it's all I can't say. I can't say.
Honestly.
Well, this is so.
It's kind of like private.
It's private. Exactly.
This is one of those things
it's
that
for
changes.
them. That one I get. That one I get because
Yeah,
it's not your.
Yeah.
it's not you.
But also, this is what happens when, your startup is acquired by a much larger company that, is.
There's a lot of like a lot of things you can't talk about, which is a great segue into talk about who bought you, because it's so unique. It's not someone that you would imagine, right?
Yeah.
It's not a tech company.
Yeah,
So it's a beauty brand, you said Super Ordinary.
Super ordinary there, and they've been absolutely amazing. It was
And I love their brands. By the way, the brands are, I'm not, and I literally am not saying this because you're sitting here. I didn't realize they own like not just Ordinary, but Erna Laszlo, Strivectin I saw in there. They have like Olaplex. They have like huge brands.
Yeah, so we have a portfolio of brands that we own, and then we also have a ton of brand partners, which we handle all their distribution, all their e-commerce, whether that's on Amazon or through creators or Alibaba or Lazada in Thailand, wherever it is, in India and Europe.
But why do you think why them? Like, what do they? I mean, what was their reason for purchasing you?
So right now they really are the global growth partner for high-end beauty brands and cosmetics brands worldwide. So they take a lot of the big U.S. beauty brands and they launch them into new markets, into China, into Southeast Asia, into other massive beauty markets. So they really are this growth partner, and they use these marketplaces as a distribution channel for their products. So creators really are the new distribution channels for beauty products, especially. So really allowing creators to be able to sell their products, being able to create brands with creators, as we've seen with Chamberlain Coffee and Emma Chamberlain, or Prime Beverage with KSI and Logan Paul. So being able to create custom lines for creators, being able to white label their portfolio of products with creators, really opening up new distribution outlets for their products, and trying to create a seamless experience between creators, brands, and marketplaces worldwide.
So it's not like Olaplex, just using that as an example.
Yeah.
They're not allowed, I guess, to use one of your creators and just do a free collaboration.
Oh, they totally could.
Okay.
And also another big aspect
on
is,
the actual person. Like, let's say I was on there.
Yeah.
And because Olaplex is owned by Super Ordinary, who owns you, does that mean I have to do a collaboration with Olaplex and free?
No. So a lot of our
absolutely
brands are arm length away.
Yeah.
There's some brands that we fully operate, and those are like Joanna Vargas is one of our brands that was 100% acquired by Super Ordinary, and that's an in-house brand.
Okay, so say whatever. So would I have to do a collab if I was a creator? So where does can they just like pepper in an ad on the site somewhere else?
No.
What would be the benefit?
We haven't done any of that yet. We are going to be doing social commerce. Currently, the way we're doing it is kind of helping creators white label products and co-create brands with creators. So we get hit up the whole time with creators saying, "Oh, I want to create a tanning oil." Okay, so we can now help them do that. I want to create a merch brand, so we could help them do that. So that's the main way right now. And then the other big aspect of why they bought us is there's massive opportunity for the platform in Asia, and a lot of the US creator economy companies and platforms neglect the international reach. And the Super Ordinary's bread and butter is Asia. They have a massive base there. So they're going to take us there, and we'll dominate the creator economy in Asia as well.
Yeah, as well as being able to facilitate brand deals between our portfolio of brands with our creator network. So right now there are a lot of middlemen between a brand and a creator. At Super Ordinary, we can remove the whole middleman completely.
So, but when they bought you at the 10-month mark, right? And how many users did you have already? Mm-hmm. And were you making money? Like, what were you making at that point?
We had millions of users at that point, and we're making kind of 7 figures in annualized revenue. So there was a ton of traction with the platform, which is, probably the main reason they bought us.
Right. And also it's like a place, it's a great space for them to be developing because
Yeah.
they have like an audience of what that is. It makes sense to me. And if you were tracking and you're just doing that now, what are you going to do in 2 years or 3 years? They bought you early, you know. And what's your deal now? You have to still work with them, right? Like you're still involved in the company.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're still CEOs of Fanfix, and then
so you're still operating.
Yeah, we're still
usual.
CEO of Fanfix. We're also SVPs at Superordinary. So we are launching.
I'm sorry.
So we are launching a suite of new tools for creators in the coming months that will help them with monetizing off of brand deals as well as launching new products and highlighting brands that they want to work with. So stay tuned. We'll have a bunch of new products launching.
Please, for my
we'll
hair.
get you some,
and some Erno Laszlo. I have a whole laundry list of stuff that I'm going to be giving you.
Totally
Awesome.
I love those brands. Like I'm serious.
They're awesome.
There's some. By the way, the Ordinary brand. I'm not just like I said. I'm not saying that. I heard that like their products are so cost effect. Like they're like very
high margin.
They're very like they're not cheap. I hate the word cheap, but like
value, great value,
and very good quality.
Yeah,
that's
very
what
good
I
quality.
like. That's why I thought that they have a huge name. People love them. So I mean, this is amazing. Did I forget anything in this interview with you, Harry?
I don't think so. Not that I can. You definitely didn't forget anything that I can remember.
How about you, Simon? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think you covered it all. I think Harry had a few questions for you, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think the final thing, Simon, prepared a dance for the podcast. That he'd love a TikTok dance that he'd love to show.
Harry, we always have.
With about 3 jokes that we recite.
Yeah, we have the same jokes that we tell all the time now.
That's what happens.
He always brings up some TikTok dance I created in the middle of meetings, and everyone's always very confused.
And did you ever do that?
No, never
Okay.
created the TikTok dance. But when I say I didn't create it, they usually don't believe me.
And so now they think that you did, and they go searching wildly for it.
Yeah, they think I'm like embarrassed to show it, but really,
my gosh, that's very funny.
really,
actually.
Harry's the one who created the dances.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, so you guys are very young. Now you guys are very rich. Do you guys have girlfriends?
Not at the moment. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Not at the moment. Yeah.
Do you guys have I heard that you're the Gen Z crew, but like your age. People don't even have boyfriends and girlfriends anymore. It's much more just like dating and like hooking up and like
casual.
It's much more casual. Is that true?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Harry has spent a lot of time on the dating apps, whether that's Hinge, Bumble, even Facebook. he uses.
You use Facebook for the old ladies, okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's his style.
That's his style.
That I think you are right that long-term relationships, especially amongst like high school students, is very different than it was 10 years ago, 20
very
years
different.
ago.
Yeah.
But I'm saying college students. It's like
casual.
I feel like it's like there's
Maybe.
very few more like it's not that. It's not an anomaly.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it is an anomaly. I just find it's not very common. Is it just
No, it's
in
not.
LA or everywhere?
Most of my friends don't have girlfriends.
That's just what we like to tell ourselves.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that what it
So
is?
true.
I think it all comes back to TikTok, honestly. Like TikTok ruined everyone's
Social media ruined it for
attention span, as well as
100%.
how some of these creators portray themselves on Instagram,
Totally.
Snapchat, TikTok. That I think it has really impacted the dating world.
Yeah.
100. I mean, also because nothing is real anymore, right?
Yeah,
And so when
nothing
you
is.
see people in real life versus like online,
Yep.
it's very jarring sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
of all the different filters
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But also it's like the volume of people.
Yeah.
So like why like people have told me many times that they've gone on a date with somebody, with whoever, they actually have like a nice time, but
They look nothing alike
but
what they looked like.
or
on
nothing
there.
like or that like but their brains now, the neuroplasticity has changed so much
Yeah.
that like their brains now are just going to like, okay, now I got to go back on my, like it's not, there's
Yeah.
no like
Yeah.
there's no, like you said, there's no attention span to even like take that longer than like an hour.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's
What
awful.
what
It's
I
my
think we
biggest
are
pet
seeing
peeve.
is
Yeah.
we are seeing, movement back to authenticity, especially amongst Gen Z. And I think, Be Real, if you have heard of Be Real or seen that app blowing up, really
Which one is that app? What's that
Be
app?
Real is an app right now kind of taking the world by storm.
What is it?
It essentially is imagine Instagram, but back to its basics, no filters whatsoever. And you really only follow your close friends and family on Be Real. And the thing about Be Real is,
And this is an app?
yeah, it's an app.
Okay.
Every day at the same time, it
different
shoots at
Random time.
at random times, but with all of its users, it shoots out an alert for you to post on Be Real. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take your phone out and take a photo. And the difference between Be Real and Snapchat or Instagram is Be Real is a dual facing camera. So when you take a photo, if I were to take a Be Real right now, you would see my face and you at the same time. So
Wow.
you can't see your friends' Be Reals until you post your own Be Real. So it's kind of a gamified, authentic platform.
That's a great idea.
That's
it's
been
awesome.
blowing up recently. And Instagram and Snapchat copied that feature. So now on Instagram or on Snapchat, you could take a dual photo where you could see yourself
How?
and who you're taking a photo of.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a new feature
That's a badge. It's a badge of honor in the social media space. Once Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok try and copy what you're doing, they've done that already with us with subscription. And now Be Real, they're trying to do the same thing.
So where would it be on the app? Like,
Filter thing on Instagram.
really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
launched like last few weeks.
Are people
Yeah.
using it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're crushing
They're
it.
crushing
it. I think people, it's like what we were saying with, with content being
Look at
endless, it makes kind of exclusive paywalled content all the more valuable. I think it's the same thing with authenticity, with everything
Wow.
so filtered and edited and inorganic. It makes authenticity, people really just crave authenticity.
Listen, you're preaching to the converted. I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I do think that like people are now just like even like everyone just automatically goes to a filter because it's like what to do.
Yeah.
But it just completely alters everything, and that's why plastic surgery is up and all these problems. People are like
Yeah.
so insecure with themselves, and they think that they're so that all their imperfections are so
Yeah.
highlighted in real life because you see this like artificial
Yeah.
view of you.
100%. And there are all those apps out there like Facetune being a big popular one amongst Gen Z
They're
creators.
so
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah. And it's pretty crazy what you
It
can do
is.
with these filters nowadays.
So then what's your reason? What's your excuses for not having, girlfriends or
The filters aren't good enough
The
yet.
filters aren't good enough. Yeah.
Maybe in
Yeah.
like 10 years.
exactly.
Yeah.
No.
10 years we'll
But
meet
you
someone.
just finished saying you don't want the filters, you want these Be Real authentic.
Yeah.
So
Be real. You just said it.
yeah, I'm saying no. So now, why don't you find the real girls that have no filters and doing all this? Like,
Girls with no filters.
yeah,
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
you guys, you can spot who's using a filter, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. You can
I
definitely
mean,
tell.
more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
100%.
But you're still not going to go and date and have a relationship, are you, boys? But either one of you.
No, we will.
Keep it casual for the near future. But
No.
at some point,
Harry's just struggling. If there's anyone out there who,
tragic.
wants
It's
to
the
take
English
this guy out.
accent, Simon. That
tragic.
English accent, I'm sure,
Yeah.
just is a deterrent for most girls.
Oh yeah, no,
they
it's,
hate it.
It's
it's awful.
like
It's like
They
bear
hate it.
spray.
Yeah.
it's like eating beans on toast for every meal.
Exactly.
Like,
who
who
wants
wants to do that?
No,
horrendous.
exactly. Gosh. Well, okay. So how do people find you guys? Go to Fanfix. Like, give us some details for people who want to be a creator on Fanfix or who
Yes.
just are curious.
If you are an aspiring creator, go to fanfix.io and apply to be a creator. So
You gotta
that's
apply.
yeah, so that's actually one thing we didn't touch. But on Fanfix, we are exclusive with who we allow to be a content creator. So you actually have to apply to be a creator on our platform.
Okay.
You have to go through our approval process. We verify your identity. We check that you actually have built a community, an engaged community. And then once you are accepted, we handhold you through the process of launching your page, creating content to begin with, and really be able to build your community. So that's something that no other platform does.
I like that.
On Patreon, on OnlyFans, whatever it may be, you can become a creator today and start creating content. And there's no control over that content being posted. So on Fanfix, coming back to it, fanfix.io, apply to be a creator. Harry will personally review your application.
Absolutely.
And then once you're accepted, you essentially connect your bank account, you set your subscription price, your message price, and you start making money. That's simple.
I love it. Thank you. Okay, so this has been, I don't know how long it's been. Harry, how long has it been? Like an hour and a half?
I feel like, hour 45, hour and a half.
Oh, God, and I was worried I had nothing to say to you. I guess I was wrong.
Thought it was going to be 4 minutes.
I know, right? 4.5 minutes.
Harry,
Is
do you
that
want
what
to share
I said?
your Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well,
I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter.
Well, thank you, boys. And thank you. I'm very proud of you. And now very proud of you, too.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. This was excellent.
Of course.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching Habits and Hustle. Please watch another video here and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already by pressing the button below.
Jennifer Cohen, visionaries, tune in, you can get to know 'em. Be inspired, this is your moment. Excuses, we ain't having that. The Habits and Hustle podcast, powered by Habit Nest.